Colorado's top Democrat just gave his final State of the State speech. Governor Polis is serving his final year in the office. In his 8th speech to the state's General Assembly, Polis seemed more reflective on his past 2 terms.
Our Marshall Zellinger sat down with Polis after the speech. And Marshall, you covered a lot of ground, from retribution, from the Trump administration, and Tina Peters' clemency. But he surprised you with an answer.
Right, and not about Tina Peters. Since his speech spent a lot of time looking back, I wondered if he had regrets. But first, we talked about some of the content of his speech. He told the legislature about the areas where President Trump has kept funding from Colorado: FEMA funds for disasters on the Western Slope, funding for clean water in Southwest Colorado, food for needy Coloradans. I asked him about what he would do to stop that. Polis cited the Attorney General suing 50 times, and he seemed to find solace in that the courts have overruled the president on some of the issues so far. At the end of this interview, I asked him a question that really didn't take much time for him to consider the answer.
Do you have any regrets for a bill or a policy that you signed into law?
Yeah, several. I mean, one is when we did local control of minimum wage, which I support, and many jurisdictions don't hire, we absolutely should have carved out the tipped wage piece. It should not have escalated automatically with the minimum wage, and that has made it very hard for restaurants in Denver, to a lesser extent a few other cities, but largely Denver, because of their very high minimum wage and the ratio to tip wages. As a result, restaurants are flocking to other cities like Aurora and Thornton, and it's not easy anywhere to run a restaurant, don't get me wrong, but it's absolutely hurt Denver's ability to be the center of the culinary scene.
Denver's minimum wage as a city is about $19 an hour, and I think the issue is in these cities you have to subtract the tipped wage portion, which is, I think it's $2.13, and so I think he's talking about they should have allowed for tipped workers to make a much less minimum wage because they get tips, something that the state legislature is going to look at again this year. I also asked him if he regretted any bills that he vetoed. He said no, and perhaps there should have been more bills he vetoed. Kim and Phil.
Okay, well, okay.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, did he name which specific ones?
No, conveniently, it was the end of the interview. And then afterwards, he asked, was there something I had heard of a bill that he thought he had vetoed that he shouldn't have? And no, it's funny, when I was writing out the questions, that was the question. Do you have a regret of a veto? And it didn't occur to me till shortly before I went in the office that I should really be asking, do you regret signing something into law? And then hearing that answer, so he was so quick with that answer that he's thought about that.
Okay, all right. Well, that's interesting. All right, that's great. Thank you. Thanks, Marshall.